She was just 8 years old, wearing a school uniform, holding a doll, and standing in court like a criminal. When the judge read her full name out loud, both lawyers stood up at the same time. Their faces changed. It wasn't fear, it was recognition. That girl. She carried a name that shouldn't have been forgotten. And what happened next? No one in that courtroom was ready for it. Tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching this from? It all started on a rainy Tuesday morning in downtown Albuquerque. The courthouse was buzzing like any other day. Lawyers rushing in, social workers juggling files, tired judges flipping through cases they barely had time to read. And right in the middle of all that noise, walked in a little girl named Amaya Redbird. Hair in 2 braids, gray jumper over a white shirt, holding a ragged doll with one hand and the edge of a social worker's coat with the other. The charge? Assault on a teacher. She didn't cry, she didn't speak, just stood quietly in front of the judge. Too small for the floor, too young for... The accusation, her public defender, Daniel Marks, looked at the file, frowning. None of it made sense. No parents present, no interpreter. No previous incidents at school. It was like someone skipped every step and went straight to court. But it was when the judge read her full name, Amaya Sky Redbird, that everything shifted. Both Daniel and the assistant district attorney, Claire Dawson, froze. Daniel looked up. Claire's pen stopped mid-word. They looked at each other, then back at the girl, and you could feel it. That name meant something. Something big. At first, it was hard to say what the story really was. The school said Amaya pushed her teacher down the stairs. Another student supposedly saw it, but that same student had disappeared from school the next day. The teacher had passed complaints, but they were buried deep. No one wanted to reopen those files. Not until Claire, who usually went by the book, decided to dig deeper, and what she found unraveled the whole case. Amaya Redbird wasn't just any little girl. Her mother had been a tribal land rights lawyer, missing for 2 years under mysterious circumstances. Her grandmother, Marisol Redbird, was a former tribal elder who once sued the state for taking indigenous children into foster care illegally. That's why Daniel and Claire knew the name. That's why they froze. Amaya had been living with a foster family far from her community. No legal advocate, no contact with her people. And now, accused of a crime that sounded nothing like the child in her school records. A girl teachers described as quiet, kind, protective of others. In court, when asked to speak, Amaya didn't answer in English. She whispered something in her native language. The judge frowned. Then, from the back of the room, someone stood. An old woman with a cane, long silver braid down her back, and fire in her eyes. Marisol Redbird, alive and ready. She handed a folder to Claire, who didn't hesitate. In the middle of the hearing, the assistant DA stood and changed her plea, submitted evidence that not only cleared Amaya, but exposed the teacher. Abuse, manipulation, intimidation. Amaya had tried to defend another student. She had stopped the teacher, and for that, they blamed her. The charges were dropped. The courtroom went silent. Some people cried. Daniel looked at Claire with something like respect, and Amaya, still holding her doll, finally smiled. Just a little outside the courtroom, Marisol wrapped her arm around her granddaughter, and before they left, she said just one sentence to the reporters gathered outside. A name carries history. Don't forget ours again. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments, what does the word legacy mean to you? It can be personal, or what this story made you feel. There's a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press to watch. You won't regret it.